Well, hi again everybody, John BTV Digger here. Thanks for joining me on my next video. In this episode I'm going to hit another farm field down in a few towns south of me. And I got a nice permission from a friendly farmer there about 2 weeks ago. He said go ahead and hit the field. There used to be an old house there. And I got out there a few days back and it's another virgin colonial site, guys. Or at least early 1800s onward. I got out there and pulled some really old good relics, a bunch of buttons and some other coins and things. Obviously, it hadn't really been hit that hard. And so come along and join me, enough talking, and let's get to the finds. I'll show you what I found. A cut copper, baby. Oh, yeah. Holy cow. Another awesome, fully intact crotal bell. Look at that. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, it's not a coin. And so this is going to be the obverse, and it's another Drake bust. It's in 1865. The date's clearly readable right there above my phone. Look at that. Great seal button. And it's deep, so maybe it's not crushed. It's not crushed. Holy crap. Well, here I am at the new permission, folks. First target here. The house is definitely here. I just kind of walked on. There's some daylilies behind me growing out of the edge of the wood line. It's another muck fest today, folks. This is about my only window I can get out before I have to work tonight, and we had another inch of rain, so it's going to be kind of tricky because I'm not going to kneel down because I'll just trash my clothes. But I got my first signal after being here only about 2 minutes, and I got a little flat button. And it's going to be difficult to show you all these targets because everything's going to be caked in muck. But if I find anything especially interesting, I'll definitely try to clean it off and give you a cleaned up shot. But that's a good start to a day. A little flat button from the early to mid 1800s. This house site right here was on the 1857 map, but was also here in about 1902 and then gone by 1915. So there's potentially some old early 1800 stuff here for sure, and this flat button confirms it. But there could be a lot of modern turn of the century trash in here. So let's start plugging on. Hopefully we'll get some good stuff here today, and I'll be back with my next find. On to the next. All right, here I am on my next decent find, and this one is really ironic. I did dig a kind of folded over silver plated suspender clip that I'll show you in the wrap up. It looks like it's going to clean up pretty good, but it's folded in half, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to save that. But I got a decent like 78 to 80 signal, a little scratchy because there's a lot of iron here. And again, this one is really ironic, but a sick find. Look at this. Let me pan right down here. It's right in the side there, and look. Another one of those same type of skeleton keys that I got on my last hunt. Not inside the lock mechanism this time. How about that? Very cool. Some sort of clock or cabinet key is what I'm thinking. That would go inside some sort of cabinet door and unlock it. Or these had furniture applications. Also had some water valve type applications. Again, this house is through the early 1900s, so it could have been plumbing related. But I don't care, man. That's a sick brass skeleton key, and I'll take it every day. All right, let's keep on hunting here. I've only been here about 20 minutes, and I've already got several nice finds. I know there's got to be a coin lurking here somewhere. On to the next. All right, folks, there's my car. It's been kind of quiet for a little while. I've dug a bunch of like higher targets that are like 70 signals, and they turn out to be like a piece of an old clock mechanism that was just strewn all out through here by the plow. It's like somebody threw it out and it was just spread out over like 25 square yards. But, you know, I had to keep digging them, and after a while I kept getting those 75 signals, and I said, well, I got to stop in this area, I'll move on. But then I came down here and I got an amazing signal, guys. And I tell you what, this is going to be killer. Look down here in the hole. I'll go real slow. Look right there. There's like a silver $50 down there, boys and girls. Look at that. It was like a 90. Unmistakable tight signal at 6 inches. I bet it's a barber. But could it be older? Look at that. Oh yeah. Barber half, baby. 1900. Killer find. Let's see if it's got a mint mark on the back. Oh, 1900 New Orleans mint, barber half. That's a sick find. I knew there was a good coin out here somewhere. I'm just going to keep poking around here for a while. I don't know if it's going to get any better than that today, but we'll keep on looking. All right, on to the next find. I'll show you a cleaned up shot in just a sec here. once again, I'm not filming all these little buttons I'm finding. I think I've got 6 or 7 now for the day. But the better ones I'll try to show you if I can. This one's got a shank on it. And let me pan down here. Right by the road, you got to dig it all. You know what kind that is? That's a tomback, folks. That's actually a lot earlier than I thought I'd find here. That's a really nice one. It's got a shank on there too. So that's, you know, they're mainly 1700s, but they kind of crept into use into the very early 1800s. So that's a good sign. I'll keep digging around here. One of the things I've seen is, let me pan back up, is most of the buttons are kind of on this side of the house. The house is just in front of that tree line there. And then down this way, as you get back out that way, there isn't much out there. And there's another farm kind of down that way, but it's really quiet out there. It's kind of like right in here. So I'm wondering, like if this strip right here was where they had the garden or something, and they did a lot of work in here, because I found almost all the buttons in here. And then out there, there's really hardly anything, just some can slaw, a couple scraps. You know, they hay it, and they've grown crops here before. So I found some tractor parts and a couple modern bolts out there. All the old stuff is kind of in here, and then I found the barber half kind of right over in there. So anyway, it's about lunchtime. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back out for another hour or two and probably call it quits for the day. But let's keep on going. Hopefully we can find a few more things before I head out of here. On to the next. Well, you hear that, folks? That is the rain coming. I'm going to be run out of here. I've been digging the flat buttons by almost like a handful, so I'm not showing you every one. I wish I could show you something a little more exciting than just showing you flat buttons all the time, but I'm just getting a ton of signals that are mid to, you know, 50 to 70 tones that are tight and small, and here you go. Here's my next one. And several of these have shanks on them, so boy, these people definitely worked in the fields and lost a lot of buttons. There's another one for the collection. All right, I'm about ready to get out of here. Let's see if we can find a few more things. I got about 10 more minutes. I think the rain's going to run me out. On to the next. And a colonial farm hunt wouldn't be complete without one of these, and this time I'm 99% positive it is one. Look at that. Smashed thimble. And that's a tiny one. Look at that. That may be a child's thimble. You know, somebody younger. Absolutely, that is a thimble right there, smashed. Very tiny fingers. So I'm going to imagine that's somebody like a, you know, like a younger girl or a teenager or something like that. Because that barely fits on, and that doesn't even fit on my pinky. So that's a nice little find. Let's keep plucking around here. I'm bearing the rain here for just a little bit longer because it hasn't poured on me yet. But I'm slowly getting wet, so I don't have much longer to go. Maybe a few more swipes, a few more rows, and I'll be done for the day. But that's a very nice find. On to the next. Well, I was hoping to get one last signal before I hit the road, folks. Just kind of working along the tree line, and I got a decent signal, about a 76. And look what I got right there in the sidewall. I just cut the plug and I missed the signal a little bit. This clay is really hard to dig right here because this is where the tractors go by. But let me get this out. There's no way this is anything but an Indian head penny, folks. Absolutely, I can see the headdress right there. I'm gonna have to clean that up and give you a better shot on it. Maybe it's an 1870s or something like that. Who knows? Based off the age of this site, but we'll see what we got here, and I'll clean it up, and we'll move on home, and I'll see you in the green velvet wrap-up. Okay, here we are back inside for the wrap-up. Boy, what another nice hunt. Hit that site I found down in a town just south of me here, and it looks like it's probably a virgin site, so I'm going to have to go back there in the coming week or so. I may take my friend Pete out there next week to see if he can maybe try to dig up some of the hidden goodies out of there, and I'm going to definitely try to hit it again. But let me do a brief recap of what I found there. I got a lot of little bits and pieces of lead here. I find those all over the place. There's a fired old bullet. Some spoons. This is really old. This is an old pewter spoon. So that dates that all the way back to the early 1800s. Some other little bits and fragments. Got that part of that harmonica reed. Got an old iron buckle. Big old giant parasol slide. Look at that guy. I don't think I've ever found one that large. Always save a few pieces of brick and pottery from the home. I always like to keep that as just a keepsake of the actual home itself when I document it. And I put them in little Tupperware containers, all the finds except for the real valuable stuff. And then mark that with a little map and a little note in there about the site. Got a bunch of flat buttons. What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The best being this guy right here, and I showed you in the field of it. Nice basket weave pattern there, and it just says like treble gilt or something like that on the side, but I'll take that any day. That's a really nice one. Got my old skeleton key. Second one in 2 weeks. The same kind as the one I found right over there. How ironic. I'd never found one like that, and I found two the same kind at different sites, 30 miles apart, in back-to-back weeks. How strange. That's how this hobby works. Got my old thimble smashed, and I don't know if I'll try to straighten that out. Again, it's a really tiny one, so I think it belonged to a younger girl. It really doesn't fit around any of my fingers. And then the 2 coins for the day, I got my 1900 Indian. It was totally caked and corroded. It's not worth anything because it's been in the ground for so long. So I cleaned it up a little bit. It looks nice. I'll take that any day. Still can see Liberty on her headband. And then the find of the month, guys. Oh, hold on that one real quick. Right there. Remember I told you in the video I found a silver-plated like suspender clip or sash buckle? That guy is right there. Kind of smashed and torn up, but I forgot about showing you that real quick. But the find of the month, right there. Look at that. A 1900 Barber $50. It was a little bit bittersweet because I dinged it on the back a little bit right there. You see that? And there's like a little scratch there. That kind of sucked, to be honest with you. But hey, man, I'm not going to complain. What a wonderful find. And in really good condition, probably very fine condition. You can still see Liberty on the headband there. So that's a killer find. About 6 inches down in the muck. Unmistakable tight 92 signal, something like that. I knew it had to be a big copper or silver coin or something. So I was pleased to death with that one. All right, well, that's about it for this time. I appreciate you joining me as always. Please subscribe and share as you see fit, and comment if you want to comment on the videos. I'm always glad to get feedback from all of you. And remember, get out there and dig it all, folks. It's waiting in the ground for you to find. This is BTV Digger.